Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft 2 commentary. And this is going to be yet another fruit dealer game, yes indeed, or fruit seller, or whatever you want to call them. There's the Korean there. I'm actually, what am I doing? I'm pointing at my screen in real life here to try and point. But I can't like point at it because if I take my mouse off the hatchery to underline, I give up. He's going to be playing against a Korean player here who I've tried to find out exactly who this player is, but I have not had any success. I don't know if they are significant at all, but basically this name here, and again I can't really point at them, but the first two characters in this Korean are the words for Zerg, and I found a comment somewhere that said that these last two characters, which are like Rangki or something like that, are just kind of like, you know, like a cutesy way of ending something, you know, like Zergy or something like that. So sort of interesting that Zergy is playing Terran, and just because sorry, I don't know what else to call this guy, I'm just gonna call him Zergy because, you know, I might as well, despite the fact that they are playing Terran. Again, apologies, I couldn't find out more about this player, but what I did find out, though, is this is not just some random schmuck. This is number 18 in the recently released top 200 on the Korean server, on the SEA server, Southeast Asia server, which is Korea and China, I believe, and kind of all in that area. So, either way, basically, Fruit Dealer is not just going up against some schmo. This is someone who can hang with Fruit Dealer at the top of the ladder, basically. And they're going to go ahead and make a barracks and move it over, interestingly. I'm not sure where they decided. Well, I guess they decided to move it over so it'd be easier to make an add-on later on. But this is a very interesting play, actually, coming from Zergy, that they've gone for, well, I mean, it's kind of a normal play, but it's just interesting that they decided not to wall off. Their barracks is just kind of in the middle of the opening at the top of their ramp, not trying to protect against any kind of early rush of any kind. And there is a spawning pool up already. And this is really interesting that he's decided not to go for an early expansion on this map. This map is super easy to early expand on. I mean, on this one you have this ramp going down to an expansion which is protected by destructible rocks over here. Scouting SCV has spotted that, by the way, and is trying to run for its dear life, seeing if it can get back home before anything happens. And here we go, finally a wall being set up. Now that he's scouted things out, he's got the tech lab going with the concussive grenades as well. I guess he didn't really need to set up a wall yet. Actually, yeah, kind of in hindsight, that makes a lot of sense. He scouted, he saw there was no rush coming or anything like that, and so it's okay to put your depots a little bit closer, because then your SCVs that are building the depots can get mining a little bit faster after they finish the depot, and then you can set up your wall afterwards, which apparently has worked out for him. Usually I like to set up a wall beforehand just because I don't know what kind of rush is coming. Anyway, let's actually check real quick to see. No, he has not spotted that roach warren yet. When his SCV was last in there, the roach warren was just going up as his SCV got chased out, so he is not expecting these first few roaches to be coming in here. A couple zerglings at the front as well, and a bunker being put up. I like that move. He doesn't know what's coming right now, so it makes sense to try and get up some defense just in case of that roach, because a few marauders will be able to do pretty well against roaches, but it's handy to have that bunker there, because then two marauders in a bunker will face a lot more roaches than just a few marauders themselves. And here he's rallying a few more. Wow, and Fruit Dealer actually going for massive attack here, come to think of it. A baneling nest to follow, actually. And what he's probably going to do is, as soon as that baneling nest morphs in, he's going to morph these zerglings he had over here into banelings. Those are going to go in first. Yes, he's going to go in for just a baneling roach bust. This is massive, and I don't know if he still hasn't spotted this. He hasn't wasted any energy on a comsat to see what's going on here. Well, not exactly wasted. It would be really handy to know right here, but almost sensing it. He's set up the secondary wall. He's put both of his barracks on the front. He must have known from the fact that there was no expansion. And here he goes in. The banelings going in the front are going to bust down that first depot. There's actually an SCV in the middle there to try to repair that depot. And look at that beautiful play. the wall set up perfectly is going to stop anything from getting in there. He blows up the tech lab, though, and I didn't see if there was any upgrades going on at that moment. He may have halted production of some kind of an upgrade there. He's going to put down another tech lab to try and get that going. I really like this this strategy, actually. He's got sort of a wall and then a secondary wall after that. Very, very clever play there. I really like that a lot. Anyway, very nice little bust attempt there by Fruit Dealer with the roaches and the banelings to follow up, and morphing the baneling nest so that the banelings can come in afterwards. And oh, those aren't banelings; those are just zerglings. I'm surprised he didn't. Well, no, actually, I'm not surprised. If their bunker hadn't been there, I think he might have tried to go in with just the roaches. And look at this; that's so cool. He can just put down those depots and come in this little spot and still have a depot in the way, still have like a secondary wall. Very, very clever. I like that. Anyway, Fruit Dealer, realizing that his bust was not going to work, immediately switches over and tries to get some econ. And basically he's just been droning up at this point. I mean, you can see 6 drones on the way right now, because with these roaches chilling outside of the base, he knew that there was no way that Zergy the Terran player could get out of his base at that moment, because it would just be too difficult. He did get an expansion up in the meantime, though. He felt confident enough in his wall that he got that expansion up. Anyway, and now Fruit Dealer's just gonna chill back with these few roaches and defend. Since it was getting to be a sizable amount of forces, he saw that group of Marines and Marauders there. He knew there was a couple in the bunker as well. If he wanted to, he theoretically could have moved out and attacked those roaches and demolished them with these couple Marauders that were in the bunker. So Fruit Dealer intelligently falling back here and just droning up like crazy. I mean, look at this. His army has not increased at all in a while. He's just getting tons and tons and tons of drones. Let's in fact go ahead and check it out. Yeah, droning up to 30. Still with these 2 command centers, though. Zergy is way ahead in econ at the moment. He got his expansion up earlier, and he's getting a starport now as well. I'm curious to see what he is going to do with that. In the meantime, moving across the map, I wonder if maybe he's going to try and create, okay, let's see, reactor going down on that factory a little bit late if he's going to switch it over to the starport. Perhaps he meant to but didn't have enough gas earlier or something like that. But anyways, Zergy coming in here for a decent attack, and hopefully he sees this. He's got a bunch more Zerglings now. He must have spotted this somehow. I don't know how, but he's actually coming around. He must comsats or actually maybe he didn't comsat. I think he just took out the new creep tumor that had just built, or something. Something died. Maybe it was an overlord. Sorry about that. Anyway, lots of units coming out here for Fruit Dealer, trying to get as many units on the field as he can, either spotting this with something or sensing it, knowing that this attack was coming. Finally decides to stop droning up and get some units out. And I like the addition of just throwing a few banelings in there. They can do so much damage to Marines and really soften up the Marauders. It's almost necessary when the Marauders are just so tough. They've just got so many hit points that it's just disgusting. 1 armor as well makes them really, really effective, especially against things like Zerglings without very much of an attack. Anyway, he does have a lot of saturation, well, a decent amount of saturation of drones at these 2 bases. He needs to get a few more drones before he's at optimum capacity. But look at this, Zergy trying to move around to the side here and attack these destructible rocks. Fruit Dealer does have an Overlord over here, so he's going to be able to see this, but those rocks are going to go down very quickly. He still hasn't stimmed these units at all, so he does have a lot of hit points on there. And here we're going to see a major battle in the choke point. He stims and falls back. He needs to make sure he uses that stim. More banelings morphing in the background. He's trying to run in with the banelings. He gets a single baneling on the front there. Those units are pretty badly damaged, but they've still got plenty of hit points left. The stim wears off. He needs to make sure those banelings don't land in the middle, and barely falling back in time.